Then Powerhouse Hobbs wrestled a short dipshit covered in prison tattoos.
Who was over?
And he had to have been from Lexington, and I guess he just got out of the county jail over there. I have no idea who the guy was. I've never seen him. But the local people there loved him. But he looked like drizzling shit. And the match was one tackle pancake, 1, 2, 3, obviously. And again, good to have squashes, bad that the job guys look like this. But then Hobbs goes to put Miro's camel clutch on the guy, the Redeemer, and then Miro pops up on the screen and cuts a promo. And I wrote here, I never know what the fuck he's talking about, but he sure sounds like he means it. And in this, he said he will, if I'm not mistaken, this is the quote, now he's finished with God. He's won that battle. And he's turning to Hobbs, and now, Hobbs, you want to redeem yourself? I will piss on your cold, dead body. So that's a pretty strong statement.
Is that gimmick infringement? Is that stealing your pissing on Russo's grave?
No, because I'm going to have the kindness and the compassion and at least the manners, if nothing else, to let him bury the piece of shit first. I'm not going to piss on his cold, dead body just laying out on a parking lot somewhere. I'm going to let him put him in the box, or let him put him in the box and say the words and bury him and put some dirt over the top and even plant some grass. And then I'm going to go piss on that and kill the grass.
Do you think Miro would be so over the top and willing to say these things if everyone wasn't getting away with everything else in AEW?
Well, I mean, I don't know it's necessarily bad. It's just I've still yet to, I wish somebody would sit down and say, okay, here's the key to Miro's promos. Maybe they could write it and put it in the program. Once upon a time, Miro and God were on good terms. But then God forsook Miro because he gave him a neck of sand. And then somehow his hot double-jointed wife convinced him to split up with God because God wasn't doing him any good. And then he has won the battle with God, but now he is godless and he's going to piss on Hobbs. It all sounds great, but what the fuck is actually going on over at the Miro household?
I don't know. It must be tough to date. I mean, he's lucky he's married. What kind of conversation can I have with him over dinner?
Well, and then, if he dates somebody that's religious and then he goes on the outs with God again, they may have to pick and choose. I don't know what's going on, but it sounds good when he says it. We'll find out what happened. I don't know if I'm looking forward to Miro against Hobbs, because isn't that kind of like the Road Warriors versus Warlord and Barbarian? It's kind of the match you didn't really want to see. You want to see the big, mean guy throw around a littler, nice guy, or vice versa even.
It's one thing if you build to it. This doesn't seem like much of a build.
Well, at least QT wasn't there. Did you hear they put a belt on QT Marshall in Mexico?
I read about that, yeah.
So I imagine we'll see him show up with a title belt anytime now, even though it makes absolutely no sense in the context of AEW. He'll be thrilled he has a belt and want to show it. And one thing, Tony always wants all the kids to show their new toys.